Hi, welcome to Horseplay up here in the Highlands of Scotland. Thank you for joining me on the webinar today. So I'm going to be looking at the three key components that have enabled us here at Horseplay to work with our horses in a way that doesn't involve much training at all. We can go off at liberty with the horses, wandering across the beaches like here, across the mountains, through the forests, and they walk with us, they recall to us. And it's all been done through communication and understanding rather than through hours and hours of training. My name is Nikki Ross and I run Horseplay Adventures up here in the Highlands. So let me tell you a little bit about how I got involved in horses in the first place. When I was 5, I was a horse mad kid and I went to riding lessons, and then at the age of 12 I started volunteering at a rescue centre next door. Now, the wonderful thing about being 12 is that you don't have anything else to do. So when we did our jobs in the morning, I then had hours to just sit and chill out with the ponies. And the rescue centre owner would bring back whole horse boxes full of Shetland foals from the meat markets. And they'd be all scruffy and they'd have paint all over them and auction stickers stuck on their bottoms, and they'd all be snuggled together, terrified, in the corner of the barn. So I would go and sit outside the barn and just wait and just be there and not try to expect anything from them. And it's by doing little things like this that I gradually learned from the horses how to work with them and get them to a point where they'd follow me, where we could put head collars on, where I could get them ready to be rehomed. Fast forward several years and I was looking for a way of learning more about this horse-led approach. I looked quite a wide variety of places. I worked in racing yards, in eventing yards, carriage driving, natural horsemanship. None of them really said to me, this is the answer, this is what you've been looking for. They all pretty much said the same thing, to be fair. And none of it really sat right with me. None of it resonated with what the horses had shown me all those years ago from being a child. So then I discovered the solution. Now, at the end of this video, if this is something that you'd really like to find out more about, if you think it would help you with your own horses, then I do have a new special, amazingly exciting way of working with you and your horses to show you how to do just what we're doing with ours. This force-free, horse-led, horse-centered approach to working with equines. So the solution is not about training for hours on end every day. It's not about riding, it's not about groundwork. The answer is about three simple things. It's about understanding horses' motivations, understanding how they perceive the world, both physically and emotionally, and thirdly, understanding their communication signs and signals. Once we have those three components, then we can work with our horses in a really holistic, organic way without needing training aids. Let's have a little look at this in more detail. We'll start with motivation. So understanding where the horse came from, how it evolved and adapted over the years, helps us recognise its motivation. It also helps us recognise how it perceives the world, both physically and emotionally. Now, to get a good understanding of this, we need to look at the brain, and a horse's brain is different from ours. Let me explain a bit more about that. So horses have been evolving for 63 million years, and they've adapted over that time to the environment around them. Now, they've changed a lot from where they began, but if we were to look at a horse 5 million years ago, they would look pretty much like they do now, and their brain structures haven't really changed in that time. So when we're dealing with the horse's brain now, we're looking at a horse as it was 5 million years ago. So, although horses' brains are smaller than ours, about half the weight, they're really well developed and they show a great ability to adapt. Now, there are several key differences, one of which is the prefrontal cortex. So the prefrontal cortex is a bit at the front of the brain, where the arrows are here, and it's responsible for decision making, impulse control, and social behaviour. Now the horses, that's the one at the top, that you can see it's not as well developed as the one at the bottom. Look at the bit under the yellow circles. So both horses and humans do have a prefrontal cortex, but there are significant differences in the size, the structure, and the complexity between the two species. Let's have a little bit of a deeper look at that one. So brain development reflects the evolutionary paths and adaptive strategies of each species. So that's why they've evolved differently. Horses have prioritised sensory perception, quick reactions, and social dynamics in their survival strategies, being a prey animal, whereas humans have gone more towards the abstract thinking, introspection, and the ability to plan for the future. So what does this mean for our horses' behaviour? Well, it means that horses are really, really good at being present, something that humans are struggling with at the moment. So horses focus entirely on the moment. Who are they with? How are they feeling? What's happening around them? And it's only when triggers come into their present that past experiences arise. Now, their memories are brilliant. They have really, really good memories, but they don't dwell on the past unless something comes in that triggers a memory. They don't perceive the future. There is no plotting revenge or trying to manipulate or holding a grudge. These things are things that the horse's mind simply can't do. So focusing on this one difference alone between the human brain and the horse brain, what does that mean for the horse's brain? Well, it means they're really quick to react and get out of the way of potential danger. They're brilliant at that. They have this supercharged drive to survive. It overrides everything else. They learn very quickly through trial and error and observation, and they have really high social needs because they feed back into this safety element. Now, keeping these examples in mind means that it changes the way we perceive behaviours sometimes, because the horse's perception is different from ours. So finally, communication. Now, we've known a lot about dog communication signals. It's become very important for us to learn about dogs because they're with us all the time. But horses we never really did until the last couple of years. And now worked by a wonderful Dr. Brakel Dreisma, she has created this wonderful translation guide for horses. And they communicate in really subtle ways, much more subtle than we previously realised. So let's have a little bit look at what I mean by this. This is one of our kids' sessions, and they were working out how to read calming and communication signals. And she's got quite a bit of blinking at the moment, but Isaac's doing a good job in just calming her down. She's grooming your boots for you. So Pixie had been quite tense in her back, and Isaac had found that if he started to stroke her back very lightly, she began to really focus and be very still and focus on what he was doing. Oh, she's licking your boots. Oh, so that's a big yawn, so that's a release of tension. So she was quite tense and she's starting to relax a bit now. Head shake is a release of tension. She's saying, right, that's enough backstroking now. You can then move on to another part of her body. So maybe scratch under her belly. And she'll, if she's enjoying that, and different parts under her belly, she'll scratch your back. There we go. That's lovely. So she's nice and relaxed now. Her ears have relaxed, her face is relaxed. Just chilling out. That's lovely. We can't do anything until they're chilled. He really struggles with anything new. Don't you, my love? Hello. But that's a lot better actually. That's a lot calmer. What kind of calming signals, head shake, what kind of calming signals were you seeing? Say it again, Si. Yeah, you can see him blink, blink, blink. There we go. A little nervous. That's nice. Yeah, they were. Look at them a little bit now. Can you see how there's a blink, 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 but there's a little bit of a peak above them? And can you see his nose is tense, his nostrils are like long and thin, and he's pushing his lips together too. So you've got all the tension signs, and that's because he's in a stable, which he doesn't like being locked in stables, and he's with someone he doesn't know. But we're not going to do it for a long time. We're just going to do a little bit. We're going to give him some treats in a minute, help him chill out, and then we'll open the door and let him come and stand outside and eat, where he'll be more relaxed. So he's not happy about it, we understand that, but we're just going to try and help change his associations a little bit. All right, lovely. Now the problems that we face with our horses, if we don't have this information, means that we never really understand where the behaviour we're looking at is coming from, how they're feeling, why they're feeling it. It doesn't matter how many trainers we bring in or how many training programs we try, because really all you're doing is hiding the problem. You're not really completely understanding what's going on, and that's where this information is so important. Up here in the Highlands we have groups of people that come along, and we have equine professionals, we have children, we have owners, and they all come to learn this approach. They come to learn the horse behaviour side of it, the scientific side of it, the most recent up-to-date information. Then they learn how to observe the animals and work out exactly what is going on. They learn how to record those observations, reflect upon them, and come up with a plan to help their horses. Or simply to build that relationship and share this horse-led, organic, force-free approach to being with horses. So once we understand our horses' motivation, their perception, their communication, then we are able to cut through the noise of misinformation and misinterpretation within the equine world and hear the answers straight from the horse's mouth. This will then create a safer, closer, mutually beneficial relationship that improves the welfare and enrichment of our lives and our horses' lives. Ultimately, we are all mammals, and when we feel heard, we communicate. When we communicate, we feel safer, and when we feel safer, we learn better. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning of this video that if this was something you were interested in, then I have created a program that is simply horseplay, what we do here, what we teach people when they come out here and work with us at home. That's my daughter climbing the rocks. Now, horseplay at home gives you all that information about the up-to-date science, so the most recent scientific information that we have that's been tried, that's been tested, that's been proven. We are always learning, so this will adapt and change and improve as more information comes forward, but it's the most up-to-date to date. Horseplay at Home Adventures into the Horse's Mind is a unique online study course combining video lessons, observational videos of our herd out here in the Highlands, and animation, all designed to give you the knowledge, understanding and skills that you need to create a force-free, horse-centred, mutually beneficial relationship with your horse. So people come to us from all over the world to learn the skills that we teach and the way that we work, this force-free, horse-centred approach. Now they are equine professionals, they are children, they are horse owners, and they all want that deeper, more connected relationship with their animals. I appreciate that getting all the way out here into the middle of nowhere is not an easy feat for everybody. So that's why I've created Horseplay at Home, so we can bring a little bit of the Highlands and our love of ponies to you where you are. The course is packed full of thought-provoking content. There are 10 modules with up to 7 lessons in each. There's a 50-page field guide and journal that you can take out with you to your horse, either digitally or printed off. And in here is a summary of the lesson that you'd have done previously, the recording sheets, and of course your reflection sheets. We're going to dive deeply into these key factors of motivation, perception, and communication, so that by the end of it you'll have a really strong understanding of how the horse's mind works and how we can apply this into our day-to-day lives with our animals. Also embedded within the course are all the activities you need to develop your skills of scientific inquiry. Now, in particular, those of observation and critical analysis. The reason I wanted to put these in is because once we combine these with the knowledge and understanding you'll have of motivation, perception, and communication, you'll be able to become a lifelong student of the horse long after this course is finished, and then you can continue your journey of discovery and share it with others. Now, also to help you along the way on this brilliant voyage of discovery, we have a dedicated community. So in here you can write down any questions you have, any observations, any moments of joy that you'd like to share with us all, and we'll be there to help you out all the way. Now, of course, I think the course is brilliant. It's based on something that I'm deeply passionate about, but I thought it's often better if you hear it from other people as well. So here are just a few of the testimonials we've had over the past couple of years. Okay, so right now I have a pre-launch offer for the first 10 people that decide they would like to buy the course. And it's £250 for the first 10 people. Within that, you have all the course material, all the modules, the observation guide. You also have access to a private group where you can put in any questions, any revelations and excitement, and share it there as a little hub. And I can communicate with you there as well. And we have other experts in that group too to support you through your journey into the horse's mind. If you would like to join me on that little adventure, you'd like to click the link below. So if it's something you think you might like to do, then I'd probably get in there quicker sooner rather than later, and you can make the most of this deal. After those 10 places go, then we'll be reverting back to the main price, and there it will stay forevermore. If you'd like to click the link below, and I'll see you over there. Okay, enjoy a beautiful sunny day, hopefully. Bye-bye from the Highlands of Scotland.